The geese are at it down there. It's just gone 7 o'clock, so it's a bit of an early start. Officially an early start for me. But with good reason. Because I don't want to be held up in any queues at the water point. So I'm going to fill it with water down there, turn the boat around and come back somewhere here. I like this spot because it's got a flattish bank and I can get started on some painting, which I really want to try and do this week while it's dry. The water point I wanted to use was out of action, and this is a busy town with plenty of local boaters, and they rely on maybe 3-4 water points in a stretch of 20 miles of canal. Maybe it feels like it's a long stretch. I was bemoaning the water point that I wanted yesterday being switched off, out of action, and a couple of boaters said, oh, the one down there is really slow as well. So, slow water point, busy canal, one water point out of action, all adds up. Oh, there's the flats, by the way. Surprisingly though, no aggro, no noise. You know, you sort of look and you think, oh, could it get a bit naughty, do you know what I mean? But not so. All very well behaved. Anyway, yeah, so the mission is get to the water point and do an early fill up before any queues start to build. And then I'll be facing north. I'll turn around and I'll face north because I want to go back that way for at least another week or so. Spend some time hanging out with Kevin. Before I move on south. And he may come along with me for a few miles, he's saying. He doesn't move his boat an awful lot, but he may come along with me for a little cruise to get his sea legs again, so to speak, his canal legs. Yeah, so these are, I feel like sort of local liverboard boaters in these boats. Yeah. I cut the revs. The water point is just ahead and to the right. Anyway, this is the water point. There's 2 of them. I've done this wrong. I think I'll turn around. Yeah. Right, change of plan. I'm going to turn the boat around and face the other way. That's what I'm going to do. And hope a boat doesn't show up in the meantime. There's bushes there. You can't see what's coming out. So it's easy to imagine on a busy summer's day, someone could try and come in here, go in there from where I am, and bump a boat who was coming out. But I feel like at 7 AM I'm okay. I'm bringing the boat back because I can see the far bank. It swoops right in, and I'll bump it if I try to make the turn now. So I'm hoping I can bring the boat backwards a little bit, give myself a few more feet of room. Right, let's go for it. Do you know, if I don't touch that bank, this will have been a pretty good manoeuvre. I'm still making the turn at the front. Am I okay this side? Yeah, got loads this side. I wonder if I'll get out in one go here. I'm making the turn, albeit slowly. I've got loads of space at the back. I'm trying not to over rev, trying to be quiet and discreet. I think the best thing to do here to make this turn would be to push myself off at the back. I feel like that's going to be my best option. So let's climb over this bloody bike. There we go. And just give the boat a bit of a shove that way. A little shove from the bank can be a major help in these tight spots. And now I can go backwards a bit more. I've got that boat there, so I've got to watch him obviously. I've not used the entrance properly to make the turn here. Not a very good effort, but because I'm in a 50 footer, I'm okay. It's still quite chilly, hence I've got my woolen shirt on. Later on we're getting up to 24 and 25 degrees. I'm trying to sort of get the boat pulled over without too much drama, because obviously there are many boaters who will still be in bed at this time. I want to stop right here, I think. My bow is just coming up to the water point, so that's where I'll tie on. So let's slow the boat down. In we go. Loads of trash on the bank as well. What's that all about? There are no official refuse bins here, but people have just sort of dumped. Who knows who it is? Could be boaters, could be locals, there's no telling really. These taps tighten the wrong way. Don't know if I can show you, but look, I'm tightening it. Oh no, I'm tightening it clockwise. What am I talking about? Evidence of significant mental deterioration here. And while that's on, I can have a coffee as well. Right. We are full. 300 litres of juicy fresh water. Actually, you see how slow that is? Absolutely pathetic. There we go. I might as well just cast off, there's no need for any niceties here. And I'm just going to go the few hundred yards back to where I was. Feels like summer's here, even though I know it's not. Okay. So farewell to whatever that is. The carvery place, might be back later. Kevin will want to go for something to eat. We'll be looking for some scoff. He does enjoy eating out, Kevin, which is great, because I don't often do it. not that often. So yeah, it's a nice little change, having somebody who's very keen on doing that. And we've had some sort of rather mixed experiences, I have to say. Not everywhere has been stellar. Some places with good reputations have not been that great, and vice versa. So Google has let me down once or twice. But anyway, back to the mooring, all filled up and civilised. I can't tell you what it's like. The feeling of not having water is just abysmal. I started off at 7, that took an hour and a half to get 300 litres, which is basically what that bloke warned me it was going to be. 2 litres a minute, he said. 90 minutes times 2, 180. No, it's a bit faster. Anyway, whatever, shut up. Ideal size for a wide beam, that, about 10 foot wide. So it's not a pain when you're trying to navigate around through narrow spots. You know, you can fit an angled couch in there. That's my sort of dream of luxury. My dream of decadence and luxury is one of those L-shaped couches in a lounge, you know, in the corner of a lounge. I don't know why, but you can't really do it. And now about lounges, mine anyway, the layout doesn't quite work. Anyway, I need to pay attention because it's time to pull over. I'm just looking at the bank thinking, where's a good spot? That's not bad, actually. There's a tree overhanging it. I don't want too many trees hanging over the boat, because if I paint that side, and when the paint's wet, all the stuff, the foliage that falls off, the flowers and buds and different things, they'll stick. Right, so first off, let's stop the boat. So Kevin's coming down to visit me today, and he's going to help me with some of this paintwork. First job is to take the letters off. Be a real shame to do that. It will feel like a real shame, but I've just got no option. They're too tricky to paint around. So they've got to go. Make sure the bank is relatively level here so I can stand against it and paint okay. I'm going to need some shade later, and I think these trees might provide it. We'll see. Very breezy today, up to 38 miles an hour cross breezes, which is a problem, or would be. But a lot of this section of the canal is overgrown. I say overgrown in the sense that back in the day, when it was a commercial waterway only, private individuals weren't even allowed on it, or even on the towpath. Back in its commercial days, that's only in the last 70 years or so, I think. Anyway, maybe 80. What was the point of all that? Anyway, whatever the point. Perhaps there wasn't one. So I made a quick visit up to quick visit to Gifford Park for the services, and to have a couple of beers with Kev and Kevin 3. But look at this. I remember this boat ran a rose from the Llangollen, and it was that lovely young couple, the vlogging couple, like proper vloggers, I don't mean ones like me, idiots, proper vloggers, and really just super nice. It's been 2 years since I did any paintwork on the stern, and you know, it's starting to flake off in patches. You know, I want it to look better. I'm fed up with the boat looking scruffy. I'm going to be boat proud for a while. I don't know how long for. Yeah, I'd like people to look at it and think, oh, that's nice, you know, or at least that's not disgusting. Would be enough, really. Let's get the tiller. I'm just literally moored up here. The knee pads there ready. Moored up here about half an hour ago because it was a guaranteed spot close to the laundrette, and I just scouted on ahead very close to the laundrette, and there's a spot. There we go. Right, we're off. So this, bit of an ad hoc one really. I was all moored up, insect powder on the ropes, sorted, everything done, but there's a spot right by the marina, and the other thing about the spot by the marina is it's in the next canal zone, and I can stay put for a few days, get all the laundry done, couple of visits, everything done. So it's a bit of an odd one, this place I've got in mind. What do I mean by odd? Well, let's get these hooks out. They're already quite firmly in. Bit of an ad hoc move really. I thought I was settled for the day, but on the way to the laundrette I just thought I'll have a quick look, and there's a good space, so I think I'll take it. So let's get aboard. So I might as well leave the nappy pin on. I'm trying this approach for mooring, leaving the nappy pin attached, so I can just sort of hook it into the armco, and it makes mooring a little bit quicker. Not quite as simple as that, never is it? But you know, the basic idea. It's worked a couple of times. So this is Pear Tree Bridge. I think the district has called it. But anyway, quick dash down to, it's up, the place I'm looking at is literally about 50 yards into the next canal zone. The canal is split up into zones of about a kilometre or a mile or so. I think the length varies, and the minimum you can possibly do on a continuous cruising licence is move onto the next zone within the 14 days allowed, and I think my 14 days runs out tomorrow, so I'm moving today to get into the next zone. Now normally I would go further. There's a nice village a bit further. I'm deliberately moving slowly because it gives me a chance to socialise a bit more with Kevin before I leave Milton Keynes altogether, which I'll have to do. I'm running out of time and places to moor, running out of canal zones, and some people don't like to hear all this about moving minimum distances, and do you know, I seem to be stuck against that bank. The tiller's hard over and I'm still heading now at the last. I've come off that bank. There must be a silt bank there. I've come off it. Now the boat's finally started to turn. I kept with it because I knew it would in the end. I spent some time there and I spent some time in the quieter spot just past the bridge. But basically that 2-week period is up. So, but look at this. On the Grand Union you can have broad beam boats like this and still do a good cruising distance. London to Braunston, the Kennet and Avon Canal, the Thames, you know, you've got a decent cruising range, but you've got proper almost full width rooms on that. I'm going to get judged. I'm going to get people saying, why don't you move, you know? And to be honest with you, in the last year, I've come all the way down from the northwest, Colden Canal, Macclesfield Canal, you know, through Coventry, Braunston. You know, I've done a fair old mileage, and a lot of canals really. But you know, when you meet someone who you want to hang out with for a bit, like Kevin, and who's helping me do the jobs on the boat, you want to prolong your visit. And this, some people think of it as gaming the system, and I guess maybe it is, but it's only for a while, and it's for a good cause, you know. So me again. I just biked past. That was me on the bike, yeah. I was just checking out the spots. Yeah. Amphibious. Yeah, you never know, mate. My intended spot is there. So, let's see. It's a terrible spectator sport, guys. I've got to warn you. You know, I'm going in there, yeah. Fingers crossed. You never quite know what's going to happen. The wind's caught the back end. No, it's blown me out. I've got to come back out. Shit, I was too lackadaisical. I did say, it's the wind, honest. Right now, so I'm going backwards, so I'm going to have a second go. Right. This is a better bet. Okay. So now I've got the back end close enough in, the front end swinging out, but as long as I can bridge that gap and jump aboard, jump ashore, I can pull the boat in. Absolutely arse about it, really. There we go. And means I've got to go backwards. There's a ring there that boat's tied onto. So my cunning plan is to tie onto his ring at the back and this wire thing at the front. Right. Okay. Right, I think I'll call this off. I'm too far for me to reach the ring at the back. I'll have to use a mooring pin at the front. I'm not doing that. So I'm going to move on to the arm cap section, which is round the corner. Right. There is another spot, so... Well, that was a big faff for nothing really, but... just a bit too far between the rings. Right, there's my spot in between this boat here and the one behind him. I reckon there's a spot that'll suit me. So let's have a look up there. Need to take the speed off. Yeah, I'm getting blown all over the place. I'm taking the speed off. to try and avoid hitting the guy in front going into reverse. But what that means is the back end's coming out as well. This wouldn't be so much of a problem at all in the wind. Okay, here's what I'll try and do. I'll try and go into forward and drive the stern in here and then just pull the boat in. This'll do. It's crap really, but on we go. Now if this wind was in full force at 38 miles an hour, side onto the hull in an exposed field mooring, I wouldn't be able to hold the boat and pull it in. Don't think I'd even be able to try it. But here, it's doable. Pain in the arse, I'll have to cut this grass, otherwise I'll be overrun with insects. But you know, first world problems. I've got a spot, it's a decent one, reasonably airy. So let's get moored and then sort out the shrubbery.